House heads. Okay, before we get started, I got to go on here and make sure I share the link in different places because today is going to be proof that I have been slandered on social media, and I will prove my innocence today. I'm just going on here now. I'll be sharing this link. I have to turn it down. I'm going to get feedback here. Okay, here we go. Sharing this link. All right. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Valencia Dancer, aka Mother Diva, the Madam Ambassador of House and Electronic Dance Music. And I would have made this video sooner, but I was actually waiting for a doctor colleague of mine to clear his schedule to come on the show. He has been extremely busy. He should be coming on sometime between today and tomorrow. But I wanted to go ahead and make the video separate. I'm going to do a part one and part two. This is a part one. I'm going to do a part two with him because I didn't want what he had to say to be overshadowed by all of this mess with my name being slandered in the house music community. So let me start from the beginning. A very special colleague of mine, his name is DJ Paul Johnson, is in the hospital battling with COVID. Paul posted on his Instagram page a couple of weeks ago that he had COVID. Now, I was out of town and I got a message from someone on Facebook that Paul had COVID. Now, those of you that know me know that I have been a health advocate for many years. Okay, I'm sorry, I got distracted. Facebook messages coming in. Okay, at any rate, in 2015, I was diagnosed with some health conditions, and I took that as an opportunity to turn my platform at Daily Plaza into health and wellness advocacy. So from that point on, I started calling my DJ sets at Daily Plaza house slash EDM music health and wellness DJ sets. And the purpose of that was to give out information for health and wellness, whether it was boosting the immune system, products that could help combat various health conditions, prevention, making sure that you were taking your vitamins and different things that you could take to continue to move forward and live a healthy lifestyle. Moving forward in 2016, I was diagnosed with blood clots in my lungs. And I took that opportunity to also share what you need to do to prevent yourself from getting blood clots. In fact, you guys can reach out to Terry Hunter, and he will tell you that he came to me and said, Mother Diva, thank you for telling me about compression socks. Compression socks is something that you need to wear when you fly. Because I work in the entertainment industry, primarily film, television, and music, and then being the Madam and Ambassador of House and Electronic Dance Music, a lot of you DJs and music producers, actors, dancers, singers, you're flying all over the world and you're not thinking about protecting yourself. So I took it as a blessing that that happened to me, because oftentimes what the creator will do is that he will sacrifice your life to save others. Okay. And that's what I'm about, people. I'm about saving lives. Now, moving forward, when I found out that DJ Paul Johnson had COVID, if some of you go back to his first posting of him having COVID, I posted a comment just like everybody else. And I said, tell the doctors to give you a vitamin C IV. And then this person that's slandering me, who is supposed to be a family member, I will refer to him as the slanderer, DJ, a dumb jock. And since he wants to put my picture all over social media and saying that I am lying, I am clout chasing, that I have no affiliation with the family, I'm not getting information and all this. First of all, let me be clear. I never said that I represented Paul Johnson in this matter. I never said I represented his family. I was a concerned colleague like anybody else. I have known Paul Johnson since 2004, which means I've known him for 17 years. I met him at the same time that I met Maurice Joshua and Farley Jackmaster Funk. It was at Maurice Joshua's Grammy party when I met Paul Johnson. And just like anybody else, when you meet him, you fall in love with him because he's such an inspiration being in that wheelchair, but at the same time, he's able to do so much and to bring so much joy to so many people. And yeah, you know, Paul and I have had butt heads over the years and gone back and forth or what have you, because colleagues do that. Okay. But at the end of the day, this is somebody I love. And no one is going to tell me that I can't try to do whatever it takes to save someone's life that I love. Y'all can call me crazy, delusional, whatever you want to say. My heart was in the right place. Now, I posted that as a comment, going back to what happened. I posted it as a comment, and I said under the comment, I said, tell the doctors to give you a vitamin C IV. The slanderer, dumb jock, I sent that message to him. Okay. And then I got no response. All right. Moving forward, Paul made another video letting everybody know that he loved us too, because people were sending out love, healing vibes, prayers, and all of this. See, and I'm the kind of person, you guys, I believe that prayer does not work unless you put it into action. I'm not saying don't pray, but put it into action. Do something. Okay, go back and look at, I think it was in 1963, go look it up, where the Pope was about to die. And 6 million people prayed that he would live, and he still died. So if it's your time, it's your time. Then Paul posted another video on Instagram. And in that video, he said things had took a turn for the worse, and that they wanted to take him downtown and put him on a ventilator where he will not be breathing on his own. And if you look at that video, he shook his head no, like this. Okay. So when I saw that, I reached back out to Dumb Jock Slanderer and I said, listen, you know, because he had posted, this Dumb Jock Slanderer, the one that's slandering me, had posted that he had spoke to Paul. Okay. And I was hoping he would give Paul my message. I sent him another message and I said, did you tell Paul, did you tell his family? This is very important. He needs to get a vitamin C IV. He needs to be on blood thinners. Okay, now let me tell you why I mentioned the blood thinners. Okay, you can go and do your own research on this. Okay, COVID creates a blood clot environment. When you cannot breathe due to an upper respiratory infection, your oxygen and your blood work together. Oxygen needs to flow properly. Blood needs to flow properly through your body in order for it to get the nutrients and everything that you need to get to your lungs, your heart, and everything that the oxygen and the blood is supposed to do in your body. Okay. When you can't breathe, that means that you have some stagnation going on. And if that's a word, it may not be a word or whatever, I just said it. There's some stagnant going on, which means a clot environment is being created. Now, go do your own research and you will find that a lot of COVID patients that passed on, they passed from blood clots. Okay. So if you have COVID and it's that severe where you're having trouble breathing, you need to be put on blood thinners immediately. Now, there are blood thinners that are pharmaceuticals, and there are also natural blood thinners. If you decide to go the natural route, you still need a holistic doctor to monitor you. If you're going with pharmaceutical blood thinners, you still need to be under the care of a hematologist to monitor you. When I had my blood clots in my lungs, because I had a blood clot that was in my leg that went to my lungs from flying, I was under the care of a hematologist, a cardiologist, and a pulmonologist. Okay, because the blood clot that went to my lung caused my heart, the right side of my heart, to enlarge. Okay, and so I had to be under the care of these doctors. And what ended up happening was they went in and busted it out. I was on blood thinners for 6 months. I'm blood clot free. This year will be 6 years. I haven't had any more trouble with blood clots, but I do what I can to try to take care of myself. And it's very scary because every time my legs hurt or something hurt and I may not be able to breathe properly because I got sinus asthma and all this, I'm like, oh, please don't let me be clotting, Father. Okay. So this was a suggestion that I had just made. Okay. Moving forward, he inboxed me back and said, okay, let me go back. I inboxed this slanderer, and I asked him about, I said, please let his family know, what's happening and about the blood thinners and the vitamin C IV. And he inboxed me back and said, they don't need your advice. I'm trying to be nice. I said, look, I'm trying to help save this man's life. Okay. And he just was really rude to me. Okay. So at the end of that message, I just said, well, I said, I send my love and healing vibes and prayers to all of you. And I left it alone. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, there was information put out that Paul Johnson had passed away. Somebody called me crying, going crazy. Oh, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone. I said, listen, I have seen all of that. I said, but as a journalist and a talk show host and a researcher, I cannot post any rest in peace or anything until I get confirmation from the family, confirmation from the news, confirmation from the morgue. I'm just not going to say rest in peace because I need confirmation. That's the problem with a lot of you motherfuckers on Facebook. You get your news from Facebook, you take it as face value, you don't do a detailed investigation to find the truth, to find out what's going on. You just believe a bunch of lies. Okay, you believe what you see and you don't investigate anything. Okay, so now I'm going through what is being said about me. Okay, one of the things that's being said about me is that I'm a liar, that I did not talk to a nurse. I'm going to prove to you on this live feed right now that you can speak to a nurse when you call the hospital. Okay. Now, what the person said was that you can't speak to a nurse or a doctor without a privacy code. That's not true. You can speak to a nurse or a doctor, but without the privacy code, they just can't tell you anything. I called the hospital last week and I spoke to a nurse and I said, I'm calling because I'm concerned about Paul Johnson. He needs a vitamin C IV and he needs to be on blood thinners. And that nurse told me I would take that into consideration and hung up the phone. That's it. I didn't ask her for no information. I wasn't trying to get nothing from her. I said what I said. She said what she said. Now I'm going to call this hospital on live right now. Because y'all motherfuckers ain't going to call me a liar and spread this shit around. Not me. You do that to somebody else. Okay? My name is being slandered, and I'm going to clear my name. I'll put it on speaker so you can hear.
Thank you for calling OSF Healthcare. If this is a life-threatening emergency, hang up and dial 911 or go to your nearest emergency room. Do you need information about novel coronavirus COVID-19, or are you or a family member actively experiencing cough, difficulty breathing, and or fever?
I'm on hold with a little company of Mary Hospital. I don't know how long they're going to keep me on hold.
Little Company Mary?
Yes, this little company of Mary Hospital.
Yes, it is.
Yes, ma'am. I need the nurses station in CICU.
What is the patient's name? There's a couple. I want to make sure I get the correct one.
No. I'm not calling about a particular patient. I just need to ask the nurse a question.
Sarah, can I help you?
Hi, is this the nurses station in ICU?
Yes, it is.
Am I speaking to a nurse?
You are, yes.
Wonderful. Okay, ma'am. The reason I'm calling you, my name is Valencia. And the reason I'm calling you is because I am trying to become more educated and also share with people education as far as calling to speak to a nurse at a hospital regarding the patient. Now I'm speaking to you and you have responded to me. What I am trying to convey to people is that you can call a nurse and speak to them, but they are not allowed to give you any information on a patient unless the caller has a privacy code. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, but you and I are having a conversation, so I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, last week I called because I was concerned about my colleague, Paul Johnson, and I called and I left a message with the nurse and told the nurse what I made some suggestions. And the nurse just told me, thank you for calling, and I'll take that into consideration. And after that, some people got upset with me and called me a liar because they said you can't talk to a nurse without a privacy code. So now this is proof you could talk to a nurse without a privacy code because I'm just having a conversation with you and you're not telling me anything.
Yeah, I think we can't give any information about patients unless you have the privacy code.
That is absolutely correct.
You can relay a message to the patient, but actually you're really not even supposed to say if the patient's here or not without the code.
Right. Okay. Well, if Paul Johnson is still there, just tell him Valencia sends his love. You don't have to tell me anything. I just wanted to call so I can let people know that, ma'am, I'm probably sure you get thousands of calls from all over the world, people calling, leaving messages, talking to you. They can talk to you, but you can't give any information. And he's a very famous DJ, so you may get a lot of people calling up there. We all love him. We're all concerned about him. Okay, but I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to explain that to me. And I really appreciate your time, and thank you for your service, nurse.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Now, I just proved to y'all on live feed here that I spoke to a nurse in CICU, which is the critical intensive care unit, without a privacy code. Okay. And if you heard what she just said, she said you can leave a message for a patient and you're not even really supposed to do that without a privacy code. Okay. So now I have cleared up any accusations of lying. Now, let's go to the next thing that this person said. Number one, the person said that I have no authority to share information, that I am not a representative of the family, that I haven't talked to any family members. Not true. Uh, I'm not representation of the family. I'm not a representation for Paul Johnson. I'm not a representation for his family. Okay. I never said that I was. I was a concerned colleague, just like anybody else, and was calling to make suggestions and to send my love. Now, to show you how this person has slandered my name and that they're lying, I'm going to put up some screenshots, because after this slanderer, the dumb jock, that's the slanderer that's slandering my name, said that I didn't get any information from a family member, I'm proving him to be a liar now. And I'm going to show you something. Now, this is a screenshot. And James, first of all, I want to say thank you for being so nice to me. This is James. I think it says James Dillette. He said he's Paul Johnson's cousin on Facebook. And this is what he put out. Now, I'm going to take myself out the live feed so you guys can see this. He said, I'm putting the post out there and getting back and then getting back off Facebook. My cousin Paul Johnson has not passed. Keep him in your prayers, but stop passing along false information. Okay, so I'm going to take myself out of the live feed so you guys can look at this for a second, because I can't, if I show it in one screen, you won't be able to hear me. So I'm going to put this up so you can study it and remove myself from the live feed. Okay. So when I saw that posted on Facebook, I inboxed him and introduced myself. Now, James may have known me anyway. I don't know. Okay. But he approached me with love and respect. And this is the message that he sent back. I'm going to take this one out because I'm proving my innocence. When someone slanders my name, I have several brands that I work with. I have several brands that are interested in working with me. I run 3 nonprofits. I have to prove myself innocent, because when your name is slandered, it could damage your brand. Okay. And I have to prove myself innocent here. You know, and I feel like Michael Jackson, okay, being accused of some shit I didn't even do. Okay, so let's put this next screenshot up. This is from his cousin, James DeWitt, and this is what it says. Now, and I'm going to also take myself out so you can study that, but I'm going to read it, the message that I sent him. I said, so is he on the ventilator to breathe for him, or is he still breathing on his own? 75%. I said they usually put you on that, but they are deadly in most cases. The pressure from them on the lungs is too heavy. Maybe they can put him on CPAP instead, but it's all in Yahweh's hands. I have seen him cheat death before. This is what James wrote me back. He said he is breathing on his own. He did not want to be put on a ventilator. He is on a CPAP. Yes, he has. As we know, it's all in the hands of the Lord. Peace, my sister. Now I'm going to take myself out of the live feed so you guys can see that. This is Paul Johnson's cousin. He sent me this message, okay? And when he sent me this message, there was a gentleman who made a video. I'm not saying no names, as far as the people that are saying things out there. But there was a gentleman who made a video. There was a couple of gentlemen who made videos. And I actually posted this. I said I spoke to his cousin. He said he opted out of the ventilator and he is breathing on his own on a CPAP. When I made that comment on this gentleman's live video feed, the slanderer dumb jock came behind me and went off and saying that I don't be telling people his medical business and okay. So what happened? I'm getting calls now. People are looking at what's going on here. So I anyway, he just started going off. Okay. Here's what I don't understand. Why is it that everybody else can say what's going on, but if I say something, I'm attacked? And this is gender discrimination. This is clearly because I'm a woman. Okay. This is clearly because I am a woman. This is why they're doing this to me. Now, I'm going to take myself out of the feed and I'm going to let you study this so you can see, because I have to clear my name. Okay. Okay, now I'm back. Okay, so now let's move on to the next situation. I don't need anyone's authority to share an update of what's happening with someone that I love. The conversation that James DeWitt and I had when I suggested that he be put on a vitamin C IV, he said he would talk to his sister and relay that message. He was very pleasant to me, okay, and respected me. And then he told me that, the hospitals don't really do that. And then I said, listen, and I even posted this publicly on Paul's feed and sent him a message. And I said, if the doctors want to deny you a life-saving therapy, we could go to the media. I told James on Messenger, I said, I am not going to do anything with the media without the family's permission. Okay. Now, for those of you who may or may not remember, because I have proof, what is being done to me now by this person is the same thing that was done to Paul Johnson in 2018 for Thanksgiving. For those of you all who may remember, Paul made some comments on Facebook that were taken out of context. And because of that, a group of women decided that his comments were insensitive towards women. They took what he said out of context. He apologized, but they decided to take it a step further and have him fired from the Thanksgiving show at Navy Pier. And it was all this hoopla about it all over social media. I was on a train on my way to Charlotte, North Carolina when I saw this. I reached out to Paul and I said, Paul, do you want me to try to help you get, your money? Because I'm about resolving a matter. All this fussing back and forth, let's take action and do something. Okay. So Paul reshared my post, and I'm going to share it with you. This was from 2018. As you can see, it says Paul Layton Johnson. He shared my post. And I said, I will be going Facebook Live about this matter with DJ Paul Johnson. I've taken him on as a client, as a publicist. Attention, all DJs. I don't care if it's Obama or your mama. Do not accept a gig from no one without 50% deposit. And it goes on to talk about this, that, and the other, blase, this, whatever. Okay. He posted this on his Facebook page. Okay. I reached out to try to help this man get paid. And I even told him, I said, Paul, go down to Navy Pier with the news. And I called Navy Pier and I spoke to I left a message. I got the cell phone number of the CEO, who's also general counsel, and which to me is very strange. You're the CEO and general counsel of Navy Pier. And I said, listen, if you don't pay Paul Johnson his money, we're going to go to the news and tell them this is how you treat handicapped people. Well, I found out later on, Paul did get his money. Okay, now I'm going to take this out of, take myself out of the news feed so you can see this for yourself, because I have no reason to lie about anything. I am about saving lives. Okay. Okay, so we've seen that. Now I'm going to show you the message. I didn't upload it, and I'm getting ready to do that now. That Paul and I, when we were on Inbox talking about this, because this all ties into my connection to him. So let me go ahead and put this in here so you guys can see. Okay. Because see, the Bible says, prove all things, hold fast to that which is good. You see, I have no reason to lie on anybody. And I just proved to you that I called a nurse and spoke to the nurse. I just proved that to you. Now I'm going to put this, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this out. And I got to put this media in. Get that uploaded. That's uploading now. Okay, now, this is the inbox message from that same incident that happened with Paul in November 2018, just to prove that I did try to help him get his money and what he offered me. Now, this is what the message said. It's kind of cut off. I said, have a copy of the contract in hand and Facebook Live you and explain the situation. I will write you a statement. You are there to pick up your money and you wish Celeste the best and support her 100%. You are there to ensure that they honor the contract. I will go live when I can on the matter. And then Paul's response was, I just thought about it. I can't give you half. I said that out of anger. I have bills like a motherfucker, but if they pay me tonight, I'll send you a couple. So, you know, Paul was just going through it at that time because of situations with Navy Pier. And what happened was when I offered to help him, he said, look, give me my money and I'll give you half. And then he had to think about it and said, well, wait a minute, I can't give you half. I can give you something. I didn't even want half his money. I charged 10% for my work and 20% based on different situations. Okay. And I want to be clear in this particular matter. I did publicity work for Paul Johnson. This was in November of 2018. The bottom line was, while y'all was all fussing on Facebook, hollering and screaming, saying this ain't right, beating him up, then everybody beating up the other women and all this kind of stuff, I took action and said, okay, let's resolve the problem. The issue here is let's get you your money and move on. And that was the end of it. Okay. Now, I want to be clear, and let me go ahead and hide myself so you guys can see that. Okay. So now I want to address this clout chasing business, because the dumb jock slanderer, who is ignorant, stupid, dumb, and ugly. He's probably jealous because I'm prettier than him. I don't know. And another thing I want to say too about that, you know, if this was a situation where it was a bunch of strangers coming at me, I wouldn't care. Okay. But the fact that I know this person and about 3 other people that were on the feed co-signing with him, that's what hurt me. Because even though a couple of those people I don't speak with anymore, I had helped them with their career. See, but that's okay. Now, I'm not going to bother to sue this motherfucker for slander because he really ain't got shit. Okay. But let me tell you what he did. And I have proof that he did this. He told me that if I blocked him on one page, he has multiple Facebook pages and will come at me on the other ones. That is harassment. You have nothing else better to do but to come and harass me, all because I'm trying to help do something to save a person's life that I love and care about. Not to mention the fact that when he was sick, the slanderer was sick last year. And I messaged him some products that he could use to build his immune system, helping the healing process of his situation. I believe he might have had the flu or something. I don't know what happened to him. Okay. Yes, I have on my little stone house. I always represent house music. Okay. So I am always out here. You guys can ask Maurice Davis. Maurice Davis told me he had a relative that had COVID. I sent information to him as well. I am always giving out information to help people. That's what I do. Okay. I'm about saving lives. I'm a community activist, and I'm about coming up with solutions and resolutions to make our community better. And I'm about saving lives. Now, all of this slander and what people were saying and all this, it wasn't a whole lot. I mean, it ain't like it went to TMZ or something. It didn't get that big, but it was shared on some pages. And this is what bothers me. None of you ignorant, stupid ass motherfuckers that's following him thought, let me contact Mother Diva and get her side of the story. Let me see what's going on. Did any of you all pick up the phone and call the nurse's station to see if you can actually speak to a nurse? Did you do any detailed investigation on the matter, or you just took his word for it? Okay. That's what you did. You took his word for it. Now, people had Paul Johnson dead and buried, but not one person, the slanderer that's slandering me or anybody else, they did not put that person's name out on social media that said he was dead. I don't care if it was the doctor, the nurse, the CNA, whoever, the people who clean up the hospital. Why weren't they called out? I suggested a life-saving therapy and I get attacked, but the motherfuckers who had him dead, we don't know who said, okay? They ain't been called out. But once again, this is gender discrimination, because if I had been a man and said the things I said, it would have been accepted. Now, some of y'all may feel like, well, Mother Diva, who are you to call the nurse? Okay, you proved to us you could talk to a nurse, but why would you do that? I'm trying to save somebody's life that I love. And I would have did it for you and anybody, because I love him. I love Paul Johnson. Regardless of what kind of past we may have had or arguments or whatever, people argue. I love that man. And not none of y'all is going to tell me that I can't make a suggestion to help save his life. And that's what I did. And I'm not going to apologize for it. And I didn't lie about anything. And all of you people that is following his coattails, slandering me, you're going to have to deal with the Holy Spirit. And let me tell you something, slanderer. You need to remove those posts and post an apology, because I just proved in this video that I spoke to the nurse. I just proved in this video that I did get information from a family member, and they never told me that I couldn't share it. What is the big deal? Everybody's concerned about this man. We all love him. Why is it a problem? And then you accuse me of clout chasing? I don't need Paul Johnson to clout chase anybody. In case y'all forgot, the mayor gave me my own holiday. That is bigger to me than winning an Oscar. I'm still alive and got a day named after me. In fact, I have 3 resolutions. Okay? I got receipts. One from the clerk of the court of Cook County, Dorothy Brown. You see that? And I will put it in the live feed. That was the first resolution I got. Then I got another resolution from Alderman Brendan Riley. Here's the second one that I got for the work I do in the community. And then I got a holiday. And most of you all were there when you saw the chief of staff from Howard Brookins' office, James Ramos, come and read the resolution. I don't need to clout chase anything. I already have it. And in case you all didn't know, I was working in Hollywood on film and television shows before I even moved back to Chicago in '99, before I even met Paul Johnson. So I don't need to clout chase for anything. I'm trying to help save lives. And how dare you say such horrible things? That is so evil and satanic. I wouldn't dare use a man in the hospital fighting for his life to clout chase. Are you out of your fucking mind? You are sick to even suggest such a thing. How dare you? And let me address the other motherfuckers that was on the news feed who I know personally that had something to say. Okay, let's talk about this one female who had called me a crazy bitch and said that I get my money from sponsors and rip people off. Oh, bitch, don't have me pull out the receipts, because I have contracts where you sign for your money. Those sponsors you talking about are the ones that paid you when you came and spend at Daily Plaza. I gave you a platform to spin on. And you gonna sit up here and say you should have stayed out of that shit. Now, let me tell you what happened with her. We were supposed to go to the Winter Music Conference together. She didn't have no money. Me and the other person that was on the live feed that called me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs agreed to pay her way down there. I was trying to plan a little get together at my house where she would come over here and she would meet with me and we'd leave to go to the conference the next day. Instead of her saying, Mother Diva, I don't want to do that, she tells me the night before after I done arranged everything. And so I got mad. And so she canceled on going. After we didn't spend money on a plane ticket to fly her back and hotel, So we went back and forth for a while, but the airlines did refund the money to the other person who also called me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and that's fine. I'll get to you in a minute. Okay. When she first came and spent at Daily Plaza, I did her resume for her. I cared a lot about this young lady. I felt she was very talented and wanted to take her all the way to the top as much as I could. She got in her feelings about shit. The girl drove all the way out to my house in 2017 to get her money and sign for it. Okay, let me tell you something. You want to sit up here and say, I get my money from sponsors. Well, at least I'm being sponsored, because ain't nobody sponsoring your little bullshit DJ set hole in the wall clubs. And you want to say and rip people off. I have receipts from people who stand for their money. I have no reason to rip people off. I would never do something like that and ruin my reputation. You out of your fucking mind. And what I don't understand is you spending Daily Plaza 15 and 16 and you still ain't went nowhere. In the last 5 years, I've been given a holiday. I done been on working on movies. My TV show finna air on a major network. I have grown in my career. You still doing the same shit you was doing 5 years ago, but want to talk shit about me. Now let's get to this other motherfucker that's talking about cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Was I cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when I booked you at Daily Plaza? Was I cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when I booked you in the Winter Music Conference lobby to spend? As a matter of fact, that the chick that called me crazy, both of them, I got both of them in the lobby. Do you know how hard it is to get people to spend in the lobby or win a music conference? They get submissions from thousands of DJs, and 2 DJs was picked from Chicago. Now I want to be clear. I told her to submit, so she got it from me. Him, he did the same thing and spend in the lobby of Winter Music Conference. And I booked him at the Gap and Whole Foods. And you know what his honorary ass did? Because me and him had a falling out because he inappropriately touched me. And I was okay with him inappropriately touching me because I took it as a joke. But when I tried to talk to him about it to make sure we can move forward with our business relationship, he blocked me. And I've tried to reach out to him for the last couple of years, like, dude, you my brother, I love you. Can we move on? He don't want nothing to do with me. And let me say this. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I ain't got no debt. I got debt. I owe people. But guess what? People owe me. But everybody that I owe, they know I'm finna get a big check. Baby, I'm working on something real big right now. I'm finna get a really big check. And when I get that big check, oh, believe me, I'm going to break it off to everybody that stood by me, that supported me, that's been in my corner and have invested in my brand. Everybody going to get taken care of. Okay? Go look up Steve Harvey's story. Steve Harvey had a family that invested $11,000 in him, and he lost touch with that family, and his show found him, and he took care of them. I take care of my people. I'm not going to run off. I'm not going anywhere. Okay? I'm not going to run off and not take care of people. And then the one that hurt me the most was the one that co-signed with the clout chasing. And I couldn't believe he did that because me and him ain't had no beef. And for him to say that after I was there for him and his father, and when he was down and out and needed a place to stay, I opened up my home. I said, you can come stay here. Now, he never took me up on my offer, okay? But I have opened up my home to so many of you all. But I live far away, and some of y'all didn't want to come here, okay? Because I don't want to see nobody down and out. I have a heart. I love and I care. But all you people that's co-signing with this bullshit, you're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with God. this same time, and I have 6 judges' cell phone number in my phone. And one of them sit on the Illinois Supreme Court. And be honest with you, I don't even like him. Okay. But I got his number in my phone. Y'all really don't want to fuck with me. Okay. Because anybody can write a letter to a judge. Don't catch no fucking cases. Because I may know some of them judges. And y'all publicly slandering people, the judge can see that shit. Because you've made it public. And I got the screenshots to prove it. See? Now, I want to move on to this vitamin C IV therapy. Because I found an article. And I'll post the article. In fact, the article is posted on my Mother Diva's house page. Because, see, y'all motherfuckers ain't going to be out here posting my picture, slandering me, saying all this stupid shit. And, you know, the good thing about this is the picture he posted of me is me wearing my Joshua mask. And I love that. Because even though I'm being slandered, Joshua's name, which is the true name of the Messiah, is getting around. Okay. You guys need to stop getting your information off of Facebook. Okay. You really need to stop doing that. Now, I didn't get a chance. I don't know if I don't think I got a chance to talk about. Yes, I need to talk about the CPAP situation because there was so much going on. Okay. Let me get back to CPAP. There are some doctors, before I go to the vitamin C IV, I want to talk about the CPAP. When COVID first came out, okay, there were people being put on ventilators and they were passing away. There were some doctors in New York that put out a statement, and you can go Google this, and they said that the ventilators had too much pressure on the lungs, which was causing people to die, and also the blood clots, okay? And this doctor even quit, and the nurse said the same thing. The nurse said people should be put on CPAP or BiPAP. CPAP and BiPAP are for people who have sleep apnea. Now, for those of you who may or may not remember, when Paul Johnson came and spanned at Daley Plaza in September 2015, I let the world know on that stage that I had been diagnosed with sleep apnea. Okay, and I made a little joke. I said Abner or something like the Bewitched show or whatever. And so I had to be on a CPAP machine. Now, the way the CPAPs and the BiPAPs work, if you have sleep apnea, that means that you are not breathing in your sleep. You stop breathing. And you may have these episodes of, you know, stop breathing so many times in an hour or what have you. Okay. What happens is they put you on either a CPAP or a BiPAP. They do a sleep study and they find out where you're at. I had mild obstructive sleep apnea, which means I was low. I lost 80 pounds, which I've gained some of it back. And when I lost the weight, I did another sleep study and I no longer have sleep apnea. But I just wanted to show you guys my CPAP machine because I still have it. And in fact, that guy who said I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, he knew I was, when we went to Winter Music Conference, we had shared a hotel and he know I had brought this thing with me. So this is the CPAP machine here. And now, this is one for the nose. And you put the thing around you and you put it up to your nose and you're able to breathe. Now, what Paul had, if you go and look at his video, I didn't even think about it until his cousin, James DeWitt, had sent me that message. If you go look at Paul Johnson's last video that he made on Instagram, he was, that was the mouth. It covered the mouth and the nose, the CPAP. Now, some people have what you call central sleep apnea, which is in the brain, and that's a little bit harder to reverse. But obstructive sleep apnea is, the breathing, the sleeping, and that kind of thing. And that's what I had. So these nurses and doctors were suggesting people put people who have COVID on CPAP or BiPAP because they can adjust the numbers to where it only gives so much pressure. Your lungs are very sensitive. And if it's too much pressure on the lungs, it can kill you. Okay. Now, Paul Johnson was obviously smart. He didn't want to go under. Okay. Because he knew that if he went under, there's a slim chance that he would survive. And he probably thought in his mind, hey, if I'm going to get out of here, it's going to be on my terms. He is still fighting for his life. I love him dearly. And I will do whatever. If I want to go stand in front of the hospital with a sign that say, give Paul Johnson a vitamin C IV and every other COVID patient in this motherfucker, I can do that. You all are not going to stop me from trying to save lives and care about somebody. Now, I wanted to get into this situation with the vitamin C IV because I found an article on the internet. And I'm going to close with that. And this was from vitamin C IV therapy for COVID. This is an article that was written by the University of Oregon. Let me see here. Hold on. It's on my feed. Success story. And I'll put this up here. Okay. So this is from, actually, this is from MedPage Today. I believe I had posted this. Okay. Listen to this, you guys. A 74-year-old white woman presents to an emergency department in Flint, Michigan after suffering with low-grade fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath for 2 days. Her medical history for the week. Okay. Now they don't want to let me read it. Let me go back. I'm sorry, y'all. They want you to register this thing in here. Before included elective surgery at a hospital. I'm gonna skim through this. She was had hypertension, obesity, blah blah blah. Okay, her lungs started. It revealed she had bronchi. The family requested that they put her on a vitamin C IV, and after 2 days, she made a full recovery. They found out she had been diagnosed. They had diagnosed her with COVID and was putting her on a ventilator. And the family requested that she be on a vitamin C IV therapy. So it's something the family has to request. You most likely have to fight with the doctors about it. In some cases, they'll do it. In most cases, they won't. But once again, I'm going to do another video and bring on a licensed medical doctor who is a man, you know, since y'all all want to hear from men and not a woman. Okay. And once again, you know, this was about loving and saving someone's life. And I have proven again in this video that I did not lie. I'm being slandered. As a recap, you guys saw me call the nurse and speak to her on live. Okay. I showed you the messages I got from Paul Johnson's cousin, and I showed you a history of the relationship that I had with Paul Johnson because I've helped him in the past. Now, as far as me being a clout chaser, I don't feel like I'm a clout chaser, but if that's what you feel, that's your opinion. Fine, but I would never use something like that to help save a man's life. This video was about clearing my name and showing the benefits of vitamin C IV therapy. And for those of you who think it was ridiculous for me to request that, if you all think vitamins are ridiculous, Why do pregnant women have to take prenatal vitamins? Why is it that COVID patients, majority of them, especially African American, show a low level of vitamin D? See, when I do my part two and get this doctor on, then you all will understand better. Okay. But it was important to me that I made this video to clear my name. And I feel like I've done that. Y'all take it for what it's worth. Some of y'all may still want to co-sign with that slanderer, and that's fine. I said my piece and I proved myself innocent. Praise Yahshua, hallelujah, and goodbye.